Okay. Christina's here. Nice. Welcome everyone. We're gonna just give it a minute or so to let people join the Zoom, and then we'll get started. Kendra's mom is here. That's exciting. It's so nice to see our team members and customers. My mom is here. Got a good group joining tonight. We'll just give it another minute or so before we kick off. Hector's getting loose. Good. We have a really good workout coming at us soon. Okay, just one more minute because it feels like people are coming in just a couple minutes late, but I don't want to wait too long. Thank you all for joining. We're going to get started in about a minute. All right, well, I know we'll have a couple people joining a couple minutes late, but let's get started so that we can get our full workout in and have plenty of time for our chat afterward. Warm hello to everyone that's joined us tonight. My name's Kelly. I'm the VP of Giving at Bombas. My pronouns are she, her. We're so glad that you're here to get moving with us tonight. I know I definitely need it after sitting at my desk for too much of the day. We did our first customer facing webinar on December 1st, the end of 2020 for Giving Tuesday, and we enjoyed it so much and heard nice things from our customers. We wanted to do it again. I know you can't all see each other, but we've got Bombas team members here, friends of Bombas here, customers here, and it's so nice to know that we are all together. This has been a huge week in Bombas history. On top of being our second customer facing webinar, we launched underwear this week, which means that, very exciting, donation underwear is coming. And that is the #2 most requested clothing item among homeless shelters. So we're super psyched for this new category. It seems that I obviously have a lot of energy to give tonight to this workout. So we're going to get started. And following the workout, stay with us for a chat with our friends at A Second You Foundation, an organization which, as you might know, trains former inmates for careers in the fitness industry and really gives them so much more than a job. We're going to talk about the importance of exercise for our well being, especially during times of challenge, as well as the impact of racial inequality on incarceration and incarceration on homelessness. So let's kick things off. I am happy to introduce our coach tonight, Michael, who will be leading our workout. Michael, I think we're ready.
Thank you, Kelly, for passing the baton. It is an honor and a privilege to be with everybody today on behalf of A Second You and Bombas, certainly most importantly. let's start off. All right. We're going to get into a workout. We know what we represent: hard work, dedication, commitment, and team. So that's exactly what we're going to represent in this workout. So, what I want to do to start off, we're going to go about 4 to 5 minutes with a full body stretch. Then we're going to transition to about 15 to 20 minutes with a full body workout. And then we'll come down on the back end, 5 minutes, nice cool down, static stretch. And then we're going to be on our way. And like Kelly said, we're going to have a Q&A for you at the end of this. So stick with me for now, and then we're going to get to the rest as we go on together, most importantly. All right, so the first thing I want to do, I'm standing upright. I'm going to come down on my knees slowly. I'm going to bring my hands down onto the mat and get into an all-four position. All right, now slowly, as you approach into this all-four position, I'm going to turn so you can see my angle. We're going to start off first with a cat-cow. So you take your chin. I want you to tuck it in towards your chest while pushing your back towards the ceiling, and slowly arch your back and bring your head forward and up. Breathe in and then breathe out. We're going to go for 8 reps together to start out. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tuck your chin in. Push your back towards the ceiling. Arch your back and bring your head forward and up. 1. Nice and slow together on my count. 2. Breathe. Relax. It's just the beginning. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Good. It's a nice and easy stretch, full body. We'll just call it the calm before the storm. I'm not trying to scare you off. Just stick with me. So, staying in that all-four position. I want you to take your right hand, palms facing down towards the mat. Bring it back behind your head. Now, slowly roll in a half circle, sweeping motion towards your lower back, where your palm is going to end up facing towards the ceiling. Hold that position and reverse, bringing it back in that same direction, coming back, sweeping back towards the back of your head. That's going to be our first rep. So we're going to do our swimmers, opening up our shoulders. We're going for 8 reps on one side, and then we're going to switch and transition and do 8 on the other side. On my count, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Palms facing down, behind your head. Slowly roll towards your lower back, palms facing upward towards the ceiling. Now bring it back in that same sweeping motion forward. 1. Make sure you keep your arms shoulder height all the way through. 2. Opening up our shoulders. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And the last rep on our right side. And 8. Perfect. Nice and easy. Relax. Most important thing, relax throughout. Take your time. Left side. Behind your head. We're doing the same exact thing on our left side. Rolling back towards our lower back, palms facing upward. Bring it back to our starting position. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Good. Our shoulders feel open, warmed up, activated. I want you to be on all fours, staying in that position consistently. Take your left leg. I want you to extend it all the way out laterally. Get that left foot planted on the ground. Hands are going to come back on the mat. Now what I want you to do, push your hips, push your glutes, or your butt. Same exact thing for those that don't know what your glutes are. You're going to push it back towards the heel of your foot. Okay? Just like this. Now, most important thing is you want to identify, you're going to feel a full stretch in your abductor groin area. So We're gonna rock. These are called our kneeling abductor rocks, opening up our groin. Push back, hold that stretch for about a second. Now you're gonna come back up to your starting position, rocking back and forth slowly. 2, 3, 4. Make sure that left foot is planted flat on the ground. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Excellent. Left knee comes down, right leg gets extended out laterally, right foot planted. Same exact 8 reps, just on our right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Excellent. So open up those hips. Seated position. Legs laying flat on the ground, 90-degree angle, slight space in between. You're going to roll over on the heel of your foot, leaning in side to side for our hip rollovers. 8 reps on each side together, and then it's time to work. 1, 2. Well, I'm getting excited just thinking about this workout. 3, and I'm the only one that knows what's happening. 4, but we're all doing it together. 5. I know there's a little bit of nervous anxiety out there, so all good. 6, that's natural. You're here now. 7, and 8. All right. Warmed up, stretched. Let's get up on our feet. Perfect. All right. Loving the energy today. Now it's going to push us through this workout. It's going to be intense, but it's going to be consistent, and we're going to get through it together. So, first exercise, you're going to give me a forward lunge. Make sure that back knee doesn't touch the ground, 2 inches above the ground. Come back up to your starting position, and you're going to step out into a regular squat. Make sure your feet are shoulder width apart on your squat. So, 2 parts. We have our forward lunge, come back to our starting position, and then we're going to step out into a squat. We're going to do 8 on the right side, and then we're going to switch into 8 on the left side. Together. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Together, let's go. My count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. Loving it. Good tempo. Together. I'm just going to show you a side profile just so we make sure we're on the same page. So now I'm just switching. I'm moving over to my left side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lunge. Squat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heart rate's picking up a little bit. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Ooh. It's a good startup. I can't lie. Nice. Loving it. Push me through. I'm going to push you through too. So we're transitioning. Second exercise, push-ups. We're going to go for 8 to 10 push-ups. You decide what you're capable of. I'm going to go for 10 because I just like to set the bar. So I've got 2 different push-up variations for you. For my more advanced people, start off in a high plank, feet together, or if you're more comfortable, feet shoulder width apart. And what you're going to do is you're going to drop your chest towards the ground about 2 inches above. Come back up to your high plank position. Regular push-up. For those that aren't as far as advanced, that's perfectly fine. You have to start somewhere. Beginners, we're going to start here. Knees down on the ground, feet together behind you, off the ground, and you're going to do a knees down push-up. That's the demo. Now we go for 8 to 10. Like I said, I'm going to set the bar. I'm going to go for 10. You do what you're comfortable. Do what you can, not what you can't. 5, 4, 3, 2. Here we go. 1. Heart still racing for those forward lunges and squats. 2, 3, 4, 5. Tempo, tempo, tempo. Take your time. 6. Don't rush through them. 7. Told you I'm going for 10. 8, 9, 10. Ooh, 10 felt real good. I like that. I hope you went for 10 too. If you did 8, that's perfect. 5, 4, 3, 2. Third exercise on the way. Lay flat on the ground. Legs, chest, arms. Legs and arms fully extended. We're going to do our Superman or Superwoman. I didn't forget my ladies that's in the building today. You're going to raise your arms, your chest, and your legs, squeezing your glutes off the ground, and we're going to hold it for 2 seconds. Raise up. 1, 2. Slowly let your body come back down to the ground. Inhale, breathe out, raise back up. We're going to go for 8 reps together. 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's go. 2-second hold. 1. Squeeze those glutes. Get that leg off the ground. 2, 3. Take your flight. What are you doing? 4, 5, 6. Hold that contraction. 2 seconds. 7 and 8. Nice. All right, listen, there's only one more exercise in this round, and then we're going to repeat it. So, forearms, elbows planted on the ground, knees off the ground. You're on your toes. You're engaging your core. When I tell you to engage your core, people that don't understand, imagine somebody's about to punch you in the stomach and you have to brace yourself. I know it's a little violent, but it always gets the point across. So, forearms and elbows on the ground, back, spine, neutral. And we're just going to hold this position. Inhale, exhale, breathe at your own pace. We're going to go for 30 seconds, holding that position. So we've got our low plank, 30 seconds on our clock. Get in position. I'm going to start my clock. You're rolling on my time. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Clock's on. Breathe. Make sure your back spine is neutral. You know, it's a lot harder than it looks, but we have no choice but to do it. That's it. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Beautiful. All right. Good job, team. That's 1 round down. We got a couple more to go. All right. I'm putting 30 seconds on the clock. I want you to active recovery, get some water in your system, walk it out a little bit. 30 seconds on the clock, and we're running through that one more time. And then we might bring it back another time. I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling. And depends on how the energy's feeling. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, perfect. Come on. Let's get up on our feet. Loud and clear. Let's go. All right. So remember, we have our forward lunge, and then we have our squat. Forward lunge, and then squat. Here we go. Everybody with me? Looking good out there. 5, 4, 3, 2. Come on, let's go. Go for 8 reps again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm in the mood. Let's go for 10. Come on, together. 9 and 10. There we go. Come on. I know I said 8. I apologize, but I knew we had 10 in the bag. So that's exactly what we're going to do, and that's what we did. Switch to the other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tempo, nice and slow. Forward lunge, squat. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm loving the energy. I'm feeling it. 4. I see the team out there looking strong. 5, 6, 7. How's everybody feeling out there? I'm feeling amazing. 8, 9, and 10. Told you we were going to do 10. That's exactly what we did. Going to give 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. Wrap up your round. 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push up. Knees down or knees off the ground. 10 reps. Here's my countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Love it. Come on now. Talk to me. You know what's coming next. We're taking flight. Superman, Superwoman, we're in the building. Let's hit that mat. Laying flat. Come on. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Going for 10. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see you. 7, 8, 9, 10. Uh-oh. Come on. I'm counting 5 seconds. You know what's coming next. We got to get those planks. Same 30 we did last time, so it's no biggie. No sweat. 5, 4, 3, 2. Come on. Knees are coming off the ground. And the clock is on. Let's do it. I know what you think. Man, like these 30 seconds is easy. That's all you got for us? Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe it's not really 30. Maybe I'm throwing an extra 10 on the clock and you just don't know it yet. Only one way to find out. But I control the time, so it's on me. My secret. Easy, easy. Come on, 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, done. Relax. Put 30 seconds on your clock. I'll do it for you. Get some water. Active recovery. Active recovery. Come on now. 30 seconds. We're running it back. We are running it back. I'm picking 2 exercises out of the group. We're going to run it back one more time, each of them, and then we're taking off. And I think we got a Q&A on the way. It's just the beginning of the day. Great job, everybody. 10 seconds on my count. 2 exercises. I don't even know which one they are yet. I'm going to use the 10 seconds to figure that out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Forward lunge, squat. Forward lunge, squat. Let's go together. 5, 4, 3, 2. We're coming down. We're going for 8 reps this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. Give me your 5 seconds. Finish up the 8. Come on. Here's your 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's go. Forward lunge. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Here we go. We're finishing off. Plank, hold. That's it, because I know you said the last time wasn't long enough. 5 seconds on my countdown. Plank, hold, and then we're done. 5, 4, 3, 2, and the clock goes on. Incredible job, team. Come on now. Give yourself a round of applause. It's the home stretch right here. This is easy. We already earned everything that we have. Now we just have to finish it. Come on, close the deal. Not even looking at the time right now. Here's a surprise. I said we did 30 last time. It was really 40. So might have to top that. But we're getting close. Here we go. Come on, just a little bit longer. Hang with me. Come on, push each other. Let's go. Come on, just a little bit longer. Let me do the talking, you do the working. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. It's a wrap.
That was great.
Unbelievable job. Great job, everybody.
Michael. Thanks, Mike. That was great.
Oh, man, you guys are phenomenal. Listen, everybody, thank you so much. Bombas, a second unit, thank you so much for the opportunity, honor, and a privilege to be with you guys. Everyone out there, I'm a 2020 graduate of a second U right before the pandemic hit, and it's been a blessing. It really has been, and I hope to continue to share that blessing with everybody else that I come in contact with. And thank you for the powers that be that put me in a position to succeed. So thank you, everybody, for your time. I appreciate you all. Love.
Thank you, Michael. My goodness, I'm catching my breath.
Thank you so much, everybody.
That was a really great workout. I hope everyone's feeling really good after that. I'm feeling very energized.
Hey,
Why is
I
it
worked
though
up
that
a sweat.
definitely worked up a sweat? It was cold in here before, but no longer. And I'm just feeling like, why is it that it's always so hard to motivate ourselves to exercise, even though we know it makes us feel so good? And I never regret it when I do it. Maybe you guys have some secrets for us and you can let us in on it. So let's get started. Let's kick off the chat and Q&A portion of the evening. Of course, you just met Michael, but in addition, I'm really pleased to introduce Hector, who's the founder and executive director of A Second You Foundation, as well as Rohan, who's director of programming. Why don't we start by helping our guests all get to know A Second You a little bit better. Hector, will you tell us a bit about A Second You Foundation, how you started it, and tell us about the amazing impact it's been able to have?
For sure, for sure. Thanks for having us, Bombas, Kelly, Sam, and the group. Yeah, so A Second You Foundation is a New York-based nonprofit that provides national certification and job placement for formerly incarcerated men and women as personal trainers throughout boutiques, virtual training platforms, and health clubs throughout New York City. And to date, you know, we just made 5 years old last year in 2020, and it's been a blessed 5 years due to community, and we've graduated 196 formerly incarcerated men and women as personal trainers, and not one has reoffended. So we have a 0 recidivism rate that we're really proud of. And, just one of the reasons why Second U Foundation and our mission is so important to us, and the creation of the program is because myself, I'm formerly incarcerated and I had a 10 to life prison sentence. And I came home with Rohan, which is one of the first to be inducted into the program, and now runs our programming, heads our programming. We came home together with tons of national certifications, and not one corporate health club or boutique wanted to hire us and give us an opportunity. We were constantly discriminated against because of our records and past convictions. So that is why we're here today and creating great success throughout New York City.
Incredible. Rohan, do you have anything that you want to add to that about your start with the Second U?
Not really. The only thing that I really want to mention is that from day one, ever since I knew Hector, he's the first one that got me employed at my first health club. Just getting out, and since day one, he's just known for just helping people and putting people on, giving them the financial wherewithal to help their families. I'm a little winded. I'm sorry. I'm out of shape.
It's okay. We're all together.
Yeah, but
I'm feeling it too.
Yeah.
So let's hit upon a systemic issue that is closely tied to incarceration. Racial inequality and incarceration are closely linked, just the same way that incarceration and homelessness are as well. So, for example, a pretty staggering statistic, and this is based on the last completed census. We don't have, the census information for 2020 yet. So this is still based on 2010 information. But to give us an idea, it showed us that Black individuals represent about 13% of the total US population, yet make up 40% of the US incarcerated population. Staggering inequality there. Where do we start? How can we do a better job of disrupting this inequality on a personal and local level?
Wow, great question. Before I let Rohan speak, because me and him have these conversations often about statistics and the way we've been affected and the way marginalized communities are continuously affected in so many different ways. But I would say when it comes to a personal and local level, it mostly boils down to reflection, right? Think about how you spend your time with people, with communities, how you spend your energy, how do you spend your money? Do you shop with any Black-owned or brown businesses? Do you volunteer or donate to any causes that are geared towards homelessness or reentry? Who sits at your table for the most part, right? It's thinking about those things. What are the company you keep? Who's at your boardroom? Who's your staff? These are the ways that you work on it from a personal and local level. And you want to, like, for example, our community. The reason why we geared people not only to buy these amazing Bombas socks or other brands is because those brands are aligned with what we believe in. So it really boils down to reflecting on who you are and what are you surrounding yourself with.
I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more. I feel like it's like you said. One of the key factors is where you spend your money, like economically, because a lot of people don't understand. Some people, although people might see color, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like economics play a major role in what people do and how things are controlled and power and everything else. So where you spend your money, how you present yourself, how you show up to the world, right? It depends on how you show up to the world because, people are stereotyping and they judge you based on what they see. Also, an important factor, I think this is like a really important factor is you got to vote at like the local and the state levels and things of that sort. I feel like voting is really important and too many people, they just, they might just vote in the presidential elections, but the elections that really matter, that pave the way, most people don't invest the time or the effort in voting. So I feel like that's a major factor as well.
I agree.
I think such a good point. And yeah, voting in local elections, national elections, but you both mentioned, Hector and Rohan, voting with your dollars as well, and really thinking about how big of an impact that has. And I think there's been so much more awareness during this time, during the past few months, that are helping us all think a bit more critically about how we're spending our time, where we're putting our energy, and how we're spending our money, and what that really says about us, and the impact that that can really make to help shift some of these systemic inequalities. And that, to me, feels exciting. It does feel like a small step, and we might overlook it as something that's really powerful, but we're seeing the proof of that. And for example, being able to work with you all, a second you really helped to get the Bombas team through many weeks early in the pandemic, and we were coming together to work out in the morning and to see our friends at a second you, and it was just so amazing. And that was a great choice that we could make, I think, to be able to support an organization that we really care about and is doing incredible work. So I agree that it's things like that. So it's nice for us all to kind of take an audit, I suppose, of the things that we're doing and how we're spending our money, and
Totally.
figure out how we can vote in that way. And so, one of the things that at Bombas we really like to help to encourage people is voting with money with Bombas. Hopefully means, that our customers are seeing the impact that we're able to have in our community. Folks experiencing homelessness, which we know comes about from a variety of different reasons, but we do know that incarceration can be closely linked to homelessness, and that incarceration not only disrupts the life of the person who might be spending time in prison, but also often their family too. And we know that based on the challenges of acclimating day-to-day life following prison release, that homelessness often is a reality. So I'd love to talk a bit more about the way that A Second You helps to offer individuals the stability that they need to avoid experiencing homelessness, knowing that it's not just not having a home, but the importance of community and stability. So I'd love for you to talk about that a bit.
Well, so I want to say the two most critical elements in my view is one has to have a strong support system, A, and B, financial stability. At the moment, we don't provide shelter, but that's something that we're currently working on, and hopefully we'll make some progress in that in the future. But we do provide some clothing. But I think most importantly, right, these individuals coming home, these formerly incarcerated, they need to possess the necessary skills that give them the financial support to support them and their families as well. And that's aligned with all our coaching and what we do with class, and us training them to give them the skills to get the certification. It gives them that ability, and it helps our goal as well to eliminate recidivism. And let's be honest, most people, they commit crimes because most people, not all, it's a matter of financial support. People commit crimes because they want to support their family. They don't have enough money, or whatever the case may be. So I feel like teaching a man to fish, so to speak, is the best way to do that. And once they're able to do that, and they go out and become personal trainers, then they have the income that they need to support themselves and their families. So it helps reduce recidivism in that way.
And aside, to piggyback off of Rohan, it's about creating livable wages. Providing livable wages, right? Like, that's the difference between what we do when providing these men and women with a career versus a job, right? These are national certifications, top-rated certifications in our country. That's going to start them at $35 an hour and scale up towards, the lower 100 figures salaries as fitness instructors. Like, that's huge for someone coming home from that type of situation, that type of background, and not having any formal education, right? So that's something that we focus on, and expanding our programming with now top national nutritional certifications. So they can be nutritionists, they can be coaches, they can work on all this further programming with higher education to provide them with more incentives, career-wise and salary-wise. And it's just a healthy environment overall for men and women coming home and coming from certain neighborhoods, right? When we look at 196 people that have been employed that haven't returned back to prison, you can only imagine how many family members eat off of that 196.
Mm-hmm.
That 196 is producing for 1,000 people from low income areas. So, that's something that's super important.
I think that's such a great point, and something that at the last panel we're talking a lot about some of the larger barriers that really keep folks in a situation of homelessness, and living wages is such an important part of that, because we were talking a lot about housing and how even housing vouchers just aren't actually set up to really help people achieve affordable housing. And even if you can make extra wages to make up the difference, that you can't add money to a housing wager in order to achieve housing, and just how disruptive that can be. But that, a lot of times there's this misconception that folks who are homeless just need to get a job, and the reality is that many folks who are experiencing homelessness do, and that that's only a small factor, and some have 2 or 3 jobs, and if the living wage isn't enough to live and work in a certain community, then it's a huge problem. So I love that you brought that up.
I mean, also, Kelly, before we move on, the reason why we're so excited about you guys, Bombas mission and, attacking homelessness in so many different ways is because when I came home, my first year as a trainer, I made pretty decent money. And because of my past conviction, no matter how much I brought in, I was not allowed to live in certain areas. So it forces you to have to either go into a homeless shelter or go back to high crime communities, so it's so many barriers, even if still in all, when you're making money, it's sad, but it's something that, we plan to tackle through you guys and other organizations that specifically focus on shelter and housing for formerly incarcerated men and women.
So let's continue on that theme then, sort of going back to how on a personal level we can make a difference and take action with our dollars. There are so many amazing organizations who are making critical positive change right now. Of course, it can feel overwhelming in how to select them and how to know who to support. Who are some of your sister organizations that you think we should look into supporting, whether it's as a supporter, a consumer, a volunteer? Who would you be proud for us to stand behind?
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, no.
When it comes to housing, and supporting that area, definitely check into Thrive4life. We have graduates from our program that have been provided really nice apartments and housing throughout the city for formerly incarcerated people. I think it's genius. I think it's great, and it allows people to get on their feet, right? There's, it provides a sense of ownership, right? It empowers people to be in a nice, livable place, right? That they can afford, that they're also being like, kind of guided in a way to hopefully one day be on their own and move forward.
That's huge. Yeah. And for our folks following along, that's Thrive4life.org, an amazing organization. And yeah, we know when we're feeling good, we can do good. And that feels like such an important step in that direction. Was there any other organization that you wanted to shout out? That's
you got Thrive. That's what I was gonna say.
Thrive is great, but we also partnered with Getting Out, Staying Out, which is GOSO, Fortune Society, and the last one that we partnered with often is Osborne Society. So these are all
been around for 100+ years.
Yeah, they've been around for 100+ years, focusing and fighting and helping men and women in the reentry space come back home to our major cities throughout the country and have some sort of shelter, and job placement, as well as education. So we love those organizations.
Amazing. And folks in our audience, if you have any questions, you can please feel free to put them in the Q&A box and we'll do our best to get to them. I have another question just about the momentum that we're seeing this summer. We saw an amazing collective call for police reform and for more generally spotlighting structural inequalities that disadvantage communities of color. Do you feel like this pressure will continue? And if yes, and I'm certainly hoping yes, how do you see it evolving as we eventually make it to the other side of COVID? And I suppose really also heading into a new administration. Yeah, how do you see this evolving?
Go ahead, Rohit.
Oh, well, I'm just thinking it's definitely going to continue. Where and how, where is it? Where it's going to go? What's going to be the outcome? I mean, I have no idea. I could only hope that it's for the better. The thing is, the
voices need to be heard.
Yeah, awareness. Like awareness is the key, but it's not only awareness. The thing about awareness is like, look, people are aware now, right? We had the Black Lives Matter. We had all of these protests, so on and so forth. And in my view, okay, it did create awareness. It created a small amount of change, but I'm still of the idea that change only happens in legislation. And the fact that people are aware, like action needs to be taken. Action needs to be taken in a way where it can make a material difference, because just protesting and like making people aware, that's great. It's great to become aware, but it's not like, stuff like this hasn't been going on for hundreds of years. There has to be some type of way for awareness, for action to be taken. And in my view, it's always through legislation. So it's like, what are those steps on the back end for this legislative action to take place? That I'm not 100% sure, but I know that's where the change is going to happen.
Yeah, we need leaders. We need leaders. We have voices. We have community. We have voices. We have ideas. We have the push. We have the momentum. We need leaders to further the plan. People that are in power, people that have influence. We need to join forces, continue to join forces, state by state, city by city, neighborhood by neighborhood, and actually, create plans that create just laws for, things that are minor, that people think are minor issues, but profiling, racial profiling. New York City is not supposed to have 60,000 homeless people. Not New York, so it's like these small things. Community has to get together to push for more funding, for more community support, for more rehabilitation instead of incarceration. So, it's we need leaders to put together game plans and strategic ways for us to kind of climb that ladder, so to speak.
Absolutely. And I think that this sort of connection, even through, a brand like Bombas getting to connect to an organization like a Second You Foundation, creating these partnerships and this larger sense of community and the action that it feels like it prompts us to take on and do, and to use our platforms to raise these voices and to be heard. And I think the really encouraging thing that we're seeing is it starts with grassroots initiatives, and you shouldn't be discouraged if it feels like it's starting small, because everything starts somewhere, and we've been able to see such progress. So I hope that's an encouraging thing that we can take away from this. And certainly it has been an extremely trying time for many people, and I know we're all trying our best to stay sane and healthy and process the varying degrees of pain that everyone feels from what we're seeing every day. And certainly staying active has a lot of positive impact on that. And I know that sometimes our priorities can feel like they're a little bit out of control depending on what our day-to-day looks like. So what do we really need to remember every day to find that motivation to move and feel good and hopefully that it ultimately activates us to go beyond ourselves and really have impact on our community. But if it's starting with feeling good through exercise, how can we do just enough to make an impact on our health and well-being?
You know what, Kelly, that's such a loaded question and I love it. Right? Like I'm thinking about like, you know, we thought we'd be back to normal life. We were so naive. We thought in 2 weeks, oh no, we believed so much in what was, in the strength of our communities and cities and country. And we find ourselves 11 months later still dealing with a lot of anxiety, a lot of, just life, just dealing with life. And that's one thing that I'd say myself, Rohan, and our entire staff has been used to is these challenges and, being faced with adversity all our lives in some form or fashion. And I'd never forget when I personally have those days, I know it's just for that moment. When I look at, when it comes to like me spending time meditating every day or doing a light stretch or some very, very, very normal restorative type of yoga moves, or some days you only get to control your breath and take advantage of your time, and it's like that's great. That's a moment of reset. That's a moment for you to be grounded and kind of like it's like a healing moment for me. If I don't feel like working out one day and I go through those motions, sometimes just breathing is like the best thing to do in those situations or when you have those feelings. And it just lets you know to be calm, slow down for a minute, reset, and understand that this is still your time. You still have control of that. So with knowing that, tomorrow you can wake up and do it and give yourself another try at it.
I agree. I also think that it's important to have like discipline and consistency around the routine, right? I mean, that's easier said than done. A lot of times you're like, oh, have discipline, right? Like, what does that mean? You can tell somebody to have discipline, but I feel like the discipline comes from actually executing, right? Like start on the small things, one thing at a time. Engage in activities that increase your energy, right? A lot of times we indulge in like drinking alcohol and, doing all these other things where ultimately like we feel good in the moment, but in the long term, it doesn't help. Moving daily, exercising, like I said, abstaining from those things and engaging in those bad behaviors. And like I said, I know it's much easier said than done, but that's the price that needs to be paid. Like you said, all things start small. You got to start small with developing that discipline, doing like one thing at a time and being consistent. There's absolutely no shortcuts. And like I always like to say is like, you cannot pay someone to do your push-ups, right? You have to do them yourself. And at the end of the day, that's the reality. You have to do them yourself. So people can, we all can sit and say, oh, I'm not motivated, I don't feel like it. But if you just continue to do that, you're just going to go in that downward spiral. You got to at some point say, okay, I'm just going to do one thing a day, health-wise, that increases my energy. And that's what it's going to be. And then it expands from there. So that's what I think, we need to do.
Ritual is everything.
Yep. Ritual, routine, create one and stick to it. Have discipline and consistency around that.
Totally.
I've started this idea of habit stacking. I don't know if everyone's heard about it, but it's like one thing that's already a ready habit for you, and then you add one more thing.
Yeah.
I got stacking. Yes, habit stacking is important. That's a good book about habit stacking. But anyway.
So good. Yeah. So now when I'm brushing my teeth, I do squats. And it's like, brushing my teeth is a routine that I don't even think about anymore. So now I'm like incorporating this other thing. And then once I've done a couple squats, I feel a little bit of momentum. And then I'll, want to move just a little bit more. And even if it's just for a few minutes, it sort of, it puts you in that frame of mind. So I'm starting small there, but I think it's working.
It is working because you're doing the work. When you work out, right, you don't see the results the next day, right? Everything is building internally. It takes time. And before you know it, it's working.
Yeah, we got to start there. And Hector, I love what you said. Some days you only get to control your breath. And I think that is so powerful and such an important reminder to come back to this thing that we absolutely can control and recenter in that moment and hold on to that idea that, when things do feel out of control, that's something that we can focus on.
Totally.
So we're almost out of time. This always goes by way too fast. But if we can all walk away from this chat with one idea that we can pass on to help reduce stigma around incarceration, and especially re-entry into the world again, working world, coming back to a neighborhood to live in, what would that be?
Oh man. Hey, what's funny? It was funny about what you just asked. There's a certain hip hop song that I really love, and Meek Mill from Philadelphia, who been abused by the judicial system. He's one of my favorite rappers. Him and Jay-Z are huge advocates for reform, right? Prison reform, homelessness, reentry, the whole 9 yards. And he has a song that speaks about the other side of America. And, I felt like it was the voice of a Second Youth Foundation, this song, because, right, if we think about it, right, before, it's all about proximity, right? It's like, stigma comes from people that don't understand other people's stories, or are closed off to wanting to hear other people's stories or accept other people for who they are, right? So, clients who train with our for-profit Unibody Fitness, Unibody only hires formerly incarcerated people from a Second Youth, right? So when they train with them, right, and they're having this one-on-one session, and you're having a rough day, Kelly, and I've been through what I've been through, there's a sharing moment. There's a moment where you're like, oh, Hector gets it. Hector gets when I'm feeling, down on something, and that exchange is what separates us from the next trainer, from the next coach. And it also sends that client, that person or that neighbor you talk to off with a different perspective, with a different feel, with a different outlook on life, and a different outlook when they see or bump into someone that has been through something. Hearing that story, that exchange, and being open to it is like, forget it. Being able to connect is everything. A lot of people, that's what you want people to walk away with tonight. Being open, just taking the first step and being on this call right now is huge, right? For anybody who's listening in, right? Or this reaches, days to come. So, it's all about one side giving an ear to the other side in order to create some positivity in this world. How about you just ask your neighbor how they're feeling today? Show some love to your neighbor.
I also agree. I agree
I'm
with
a little
all of
frozen
that.
here. Are we back?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I also agree. I think one of the most important things, like in my view has shifted over the years. I feel like compassion is really important. Like you got to have compassion, right? Now, or at least try, right? I don't know if compassion can be taught or not, but try to have some compassion. And most importantly, like try not to judge people, right? Like I'm a judger. It's like you see somebody, you make your assessments and you're like, this person is that, this person is like that, but just try not to judge and be objective. And get to know the person, right? I feel like Hector, you mentioned the rehabilitation earlier. I feel like a lot more people should, don't ask what did you do, but ask like what happened to you, right? Because everyone has a story, and it's not. We all look at the byproduct of like what this person did, and we just judge them. But most people, things happen for a reason. So it's just like not what did you do, like what happened to you. And people that commit crimes, they're not bad people, right? They just either did bad things or did illegal things. And we've all done something in our lives that was either bad or legal, right? We just never got caught for it. Certain people just happen to get caught. There's a lot of people that do things that, they don't get caught for. And like I said, it just doesn't make them a bad person. So, and I believe I'm of the option, so does Hector and the Second Youth Foundation, that everybody deserves a second chance. But I would say that's granted that they're taking necessary steps to change themselves and improve themselves and, build their future. That overall will help society. So that's my take.
That was a lot. We gave you a lot.
Yeah, that's my take. So,
But such important themes and just this idea that, of course, we're more alike than we're not. And the idea of getting to know the people, not just the stories, that when we really get to know one another, there is that connectivity and that relationship building. So I love that we ended there. And I wish we had more time, but thank you both so much for being here. I hope everyone had a great workout and enjoyed being a part of this. We will post this on our YouTube channel tomorrow. So if anyone missed it or wants to share it, it'll be there. And we look forward to doing more things like this. And if you want to learn more about a Second You Foundation, definitely check them out. Keep those workouts going. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Bombas.
Bombas. Okay.
All right.
Wow. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you both. So
That
nice.
was awesome.
To you.
I'm just like, we're still on air.
We're still on air, yeah. So I'm gonna close this out, but it was really nice to hang with you both and get a good workout into with Coach Michael.
For sure.
Yeah, at first I was like, okay, this is. Then the second round, I was like, all right, the holidays, I've been like slacking, so and cardio is not my main thing. I lift weights, so I was just like, whew, all right. You saw me sweating like a pig. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought I needed this long sleeve, but it got toasty real fast.
Yeah,
exactly.
Thanks so much, Kelly. For real, it was great.
Yeah, we appreciate
Thank
you guys.
We'll do this again, and we'll see you at the next workout.
You know it. When you get a chance, we can't wait to watch this.
Okay, definitely.
All right. Have a good evening.
Okay. Good night.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, later.